And what's up, everybody? I am Glenn from the 6-Digit Club Microblading Success Stories webinar. And would you like to know how Tanny went from the fashion industry with 0 clients and 0 experience in microblading to a 6-digit business in microblading with, on average, 9 clients per week and $500 per client? Would you like to know? Well, you made it to the right webinar today. Tune in. Here we go. Are you curious if a career in microblading might change your life? Well, let me welcome you to 6-Digit Club Success Stories, where we feature interviews with our microblading students who are creating fulfilling careers and financial freedom they never had before. You'll learn how they started, how they achieved their success, and how you can follow in their footsteps. Join us, and let's find out if a career in microblading is for you. And what's up, everybody? So I am Glenn, your host of the 6-Digit Club Microblading Success Stories webinar. In the other screen, we've got Tanny. Tanny, would you say hello to everybody?
Hi, everyone.
So Tanny from Swaybrows is our special guest today, and she's built an amazingly successful microblading career and a business for herself. And she had no experience. She did not come from the microblading or the beauty field. She was in the fashion industry, and she's going to tell you all about it. What you will know by the end of this 30 to 40 minute webinar, depending on how long we go, you will know how Tanny went from 0 to a 6-figure microblading business. Now, real quick, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this webinar is really for those of you who are new to this opportunity of microblading and you're considering getting started for yourself. And we want you to know that anyone can do this. And that's why we bring you guests like Tanny, who had no experience and have achieved incredible success. And we're going to share their story with you, just like Tanny today. Now, if you have questions, you can go ahead and you can type them right into the chat if you're registered for this webinar. If you happen to be watching this webinar on either YouTube or on Facebook, then you can type your comments in, and we'll make sure that someone from our team gets your questions answered. If you like what you're hearing, if this is helpful for you in any way, please like this video, share this video, leave a comment for Tanny. Tell her that something that you appreciate about her with her story today, because she was kind enough to come on here and to share with all of you guys how she did this. So that would be great if you go ahead and do that. Last, let me just share my screen with you real quick. If you would like to take action on what we're going to share with you today, if you'd like to possibly get certified in microblading, you have some questions, well, go ahead and I want you to click the link that's somewhere around this video. It's microbladingacademyusa.com/consultation. That will lead you to a page where you can schedule a free 20-minute consultation with our very friendly staff with no pressure. They will be very happy to answer any questions that you might have so that we can figure out if a career in microblading is for you. Now, without any further ado, let me introduce you to Tanny, and I want to show you just very quickly who we're talking about here. Here is Tanny's Instagram page. You're going to want to follow this girl. She's amazing. She's brilliant. She's incredibly talented. Wait till you see her work. It's Swaybrows on Instagram. All right, so give her a follow over here. We're going to show you some of her social media and her website and stuff, but we're going to get into this and we're going to show you the kind of work that we're talking about. This is what Tanny does. This is how she's so successful. And Tanny, let's just go back here real quick. And if you would sort of summarize for us, where are you today with your microblading career? You just shared with me what you're booked out for March. If you'd share with everybody just real quick, and then we're going to go back in time and talk with everybody about how you got to this point from 0.
Okay. Thank you so much, Glenn. I am currently working with about 7 to 9 clients a week. So on average of anywhere between 28 to 36 clients a month.
Okay. Amazing. How much do you charge for microblading?
It's $500 for microblading, and that includes a 4 to 8 week complimentary touch-up.
Okay. If you don't mind, just a couple quick rapid fire questions so I can get some of these things out of the way, because some people might be thinking about this. Where are you located?
I am in La Habra, which is in Orange County, Southern California.
Okay. What's the low end that people charge for microblading where you are, and what's the high end?
Low end is anywhere from $250 to $300. And then high end is anywhere from $800 to $1,000.
Wow, $800 to $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're somewhere in the middle, even possibly on the lower end of the middle.
Middle, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. And how many, you said you're booked out for March now, and today it's February 11th. Is that right?
Yes. So March is fully booked. I'm now taking clients for April. Yeah.
Okay. So you're almost 2 months booked out.
Right.
That's incredible. How many hours per week do you work?
With clients, I take 2 to 3 clients a day maximum. I can't take more than 2 new clients a day. One of them has to be a touch up. So typically anywhere from 6 to 8 hours. I'm just working like a normal day. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Now, wait, I have to ask you a question because some people might be a little confused about this. The 7 to 9 clients per week that you're working with, you mentioned it's $500 for your basic microblading. Those 7 to 9 clients, are they all new microblading clients? Are you including the touch-ups or you're not including the touch-ups?
This is not including touch-ups. This is all new services.
Gotcha. And then how many additional touch-ups do you do?
For the week, it could be anywhere from 3 to 5 touch-ups a week.
Okay. How long does a microblading procedure take you?
For me, on average, it's about 2.5 to 3 hours per person.
Okay. And how long is a touch-up? How long does it vary from, depending on?
The touch-up is anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. And that really varies just depending on how the person's skin heals. You know, everyone has a different skin type. Everyone heals differently. Yeah. So it just, yeah.
All right. Amazing. So I have so many more questions for you. We're going to get to this, but just a couple more of these rapid fire questions. And I want to show everybody your work. And then we'll go back in time and sort of tell the story. So how long did it take you to make your money back from the course?
From the course, well, I did the online course only, so that was
with Master Claire, correct?
That was with Master Claire. That was about $1,900. It took me maybe, in the beginning, I was doing all discounted rates. You know, it probably was maybe a couple of months until I earned it back, maybe like 2 months, because everyone was half price, discounted, friends and family, you know, so just to get everything. Yeah.
Of course. And how long have you been operating at this level that you're operating at now, which is the 7 to 9 clients per week at the $500 rate? How long have you been doing that for?
Since November.
So that's November, December, January, and now we're into February. So let's say around 3.5 months or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I hope you folks are impressed because that's unbelievable. You want to change your life? You follow what this girl is doing. So we're going to get into how she did it in just a minute here. But let me share my screen, and I want to show them your work. Okay, so talk us through what we're looking at. You be my color commentator as I do this. Okay.
Okay. So this is microblading. This is all microblading. I do have multiple services that I do offer. Some clients, they can do a combo brow if they have little or less hair, and that's an additional charge that adds on like a machine shading. But this is all microblading. All right. So wait, I
have a question about that. So some of the people who are watching this, they don't even necessarily know what microblading is. So summarize it for them real quick.
So microblading is a semi-permanent tattoo. And it's done by manually drawing all of those individual hairs onto the eyebrow. So we shape a new eyebrow for the client based on their facial proportion, what their requests are. Some clients, like this client, she had a very straight brow. She wanted to create a minimal arch, but also just like a little bit of a tail, and then taper it off to the side. So we draw the shape, and then we continue to fill in the whole brow with all of these little hairs that are manually hand-drawn with the tool, the microblading tool.
Gotcha. Quick question. Were you confident that you were naturally talented to do this in the beginning?
No. But confident, I kind of have an artistic background where I like to draw, but the first couple of clients I did, I seriously questioned if I could do this for a living because it wasn't the best, but yeah, it takes a lot of time and practice for sure.
So what are we looking at here?
So again, this is actually, I'm showing the progression of the microblading stage from beginning, and then the shaping, and then this is the first session. So all of microblading includes a touch-up session. So it's a two sessions total. The first session is the initial microblading, and then I offer a 4 to 8 week complimentary touch-up. So over the course of the 4 to 8 weeks, the client follows the aftercare, and then depending on their skin and lifestyle, they can heal differently. The heal picture is when the client came back for the touch-up. This is how her brow healed. So this is great retention, as you can see. So we only filled in anything that is a little, like any of the strokes that are a little bit weaker or anything that faded out. So the after touch-up is after the second session.
Gotcha. And your $500 includes the touch-up, correct?
Correct.
Okay. For someone who, before we go into any more pictures, would you just briefly describe, like, how did you learn to do this? Like, you discovered the online course with Master Claire, and
right.
What's the online course like? Like, what's the experience like? How did you learn to do this?
The online course I thought was very comprehensive. It's broken down into 10, 11 different levels. And before you even begin the levels, which is the practical work, it includes all of the lectures, sanitation, hygiene, everything you need to learn on how to properly set up like a working space, how to work with clientele, just to understand the different types of skin. And then from there, once you kind of understand all that knowledge, you move on into the practical session, which is 10 different levels of the eyebrow broken down into different steps. So you're literally learning how to draw an eyebrow from levels 1 to 10, like the beginning of the brow, the top of the brow, lower brow, the tail, how to put it all together. And all of this is done with latex training. So with the microblading tool and the ink, you're drawing on the different parts of the brow. So after you go through each level, you have to submit your work. So if it's up to par, then Master Claire will be like, great, you get to move on to the next level. And if not, it's like, okay, go back, try again. This one's a little too straight. That one's a little too round. That one's leaning the wrong way. So you just have to keep at it until you kind of move along through the levels. And you cannot work with the model, which is level 11, the final phase, until you complete levels 1 through 10.
Gotcha. And did you find it difficult to learn this online? Because some people have the impression that, and by the way, just for those of you who are watching, you don't have to only learn it as an online course. We offer a live course. Not everybody's either interested or can afford to do the live course. So they do the online course, which is substantially less in price than the live course, because it simply just doesn't include an actual live event. And some people just, because of their lifestyle, their work, or whatever their commitments are, they can't come to a live course. Maybe you need to travel to go, and they can't do it. So did you find it challenging to learn it from the online course?
I felt like the online course was really informative. There were videos with every lesson, and there were lectures. So for me, I'm a visual learner, but I can also do well with like online. If there's enough information, I feel like it's easier for me to learn, and especially with visual videos and cues and all of that, and along with the support from the master. So that helped a lot. I mean, if I had a choice, if I was able to make a live course, I definitely would have wanted to. I'm fortunate that I have, a relative that actually works in the industry, and she was able to give me some pointers when it came to actually working with a model.
Okay. So let's go back and just quickly look at a little bit more of your work here so they understand what we're talking about. Because you also talked about shading. Let's see if we can find, here's latex. Like, your work is amazing, really amazing.
Thank you so much. It takes a lot of practice, and even no matter how busy I get, I still try to practice a couple of nights a week, just kind of working on the same strokes, different strokes, or just exploring different patterns, finding inspiration from other masters. Mm-hmm. So it's a continual work in progress.
Does this one have shading as well?
This is all microblading. I can show you. This one's also all microblading.
Oh, wait, what is that? What is that?
This is my induction into the 6-digit club.
So, hey, by the way, for those of you who don't know what that is, by the way, I should have mentioned that up at the up at the front. This is kind of cool. Here on our website, you can go over here to 6 Digit Club and check this out. Welcome to the 6 Digit Club. So this is a club that's exclusive to feature just those artists who have achieved this incredible elite 6-figure earning status from their beauty services. Really, it's permanent makeup in the form of either microblading or permanent lips, eyeliner, that sort of thing. This is the award that we send you. And we have a whole bunch of members, a whole bunch of students who've gone through this. And there is Tanny. There she is with her award that we sent her. And, but we have a whole bunch of others, who achieved this award and have changed their lives, just like Tanny is describing what she did. And we're going to tell you about how she actually did it. For those of you who are interested, this is also, we feature sort of the podcast down here. And then here is 6 Digit Club Stories. So you're going to see Tanny's story right here very soon. All right. So let's get back here. I'd like to see a brow with shading.
Okay. If you'd like to scroll down a little bit, that one right there in the middle. Up,
this?
No, up a little bit. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
So this is microblading, and she had very little to no hair in the tail, and she wanted a little bit more of a filled in look. So she did the combo brow, which is where I add machine shading into the tail and underneath the brow just to give it a little bit more dimension, a little bit more fullness. Mm-hmm.
So this is called powder brows.
This is, so the end is powder shading, and then the rest of the brow is microblading.
Yeah, really, really nice work. Amazing. Do you have powder brows yourself, or what did you do?
I got my brows done about 5 years ago, and they were done, they call it nano brows now. So it's kind of like microblading, but with a machine. Mm-hmm. So it was like all kind of, but it's not like the microblading that you see now that looks like an eyebrow. When they did it, it was just a lot of really tightly knit like lines that end up fading into what looks like a powder brow now.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that's the old version.
Yeah.
And so if you're watching this, right, you're thinking like, oh, well, what if somebody has previous permanent makeup? That's where the combo brows become really effective, because you can't actually do microblading on everybody. Because if someone comes in and they have previous permanent makeup, the microblading might not even necessarily show, depending on what they have. And so powder brows, which is another course that we teach, or the manual shading, there's other techniques that you can learn that you can do. It's not just microblading, but it starts with microblading. And so let's get into your story a little bit here. And I'd like, if you don't mind, I'm sure everybody who's watching would love to know, how did you go from zero to this amazingly successful business? How did you do it? So I'd like to start with just understanding, why did you leave the fashion industry? Did you not like it? What was the deal?
I loved it. I was really passionate about it. I had been in the fashion industry for almost a little over 9 years, so almost 10 years of my life. Again, I started from the bottom as an assistant designer with this clothing company, and super young, passionate, hungry, wanted to learn everything there was to know. And I worked with this company for almost 9 years, but, we grew a lot. We grew really rapidly, but with more growth became just more demands. At the peak of my career, I was probably working 10 to 12 hours a day and 5 days a week, and commuting to and from downtown LA from where I live, which is like
a nightmare. It's like a nightmare. I've heard it's like a nightmare.
LA traffic doesn't get any better any day of the week. Weekends are even worse. So it became kind of taxing. And my husband and I, we've been together for almost 10 years as well. So he's been with me through the whole process. And it kind of came time where we're thinking about starting a family. And I just wanted more flexibility. I just wanted a little bit more of my time back to myself. And I just wanted, to spend time with my family when I wanted to, and, not have limited days off and just constantly be on the go, go, go. So I was thinking of a change. I started looking for different jobs in the fashion industry at first. And I'm like, I'm just going to be doing the same thing for somebody else. And it's going to be, and when I do something, I tend to put my all into it. So I know that it would have been the same. I realized I'm a workaholic, and that's okay. But, I started looking into different things. My sister-in-law was already doing microblading, but she came from a background of beauty. Like she did nails, hair, she's an esthetician. She did all that. And I'm like, oh, wow. So, it was kind of intimidating because I'm like, I don't have the background in beauty. Like I like makeup. I like doing my own makeup, but I don't know like where to start with. So she recommended Brows, which led me to Microblading Academy USA, which was because it was the first or the official school for the US. So I thought, okay, this is legit. I'm gonna, and I read all the reviews and looked up everything, and I did tons of research. I probably fell into a vortex of microblading videos on YouTube for like a week. Like I'm like, can I do this? But yeah, I decided. Since the live courses didn't align with my work schedule at the time, they were all kind of on weekdays, I decided to try the online course. When I looked up all different artists, like eyebrow artists or, artists from school, I was just blown away by the work. Like this was nothing I knew about eyebrow tattoos or anything that, that I've seen before. So
and just out of curiosity, how did you select Master Claire?
I looked through a lot of different masters, but I just felt like, well, one, there were like 500 reviews on the website and she had a really great following. And it just seemed like she was the right master. Like, sometimes you just kind of know, and like that I would be provided with the right support, because I knew since I was doing it online, I was a little apprehensive. Like, am I going to be able to learn all this online? But I saw a lot of other testimonials that said they did the online course and people were really happy with it. So I gave it a shot.
Right. We featured on our website, you're referencing the reviews. And for those of you who are watching, you can go on our Facebook page and we now have over 700 5-star reviews. But it's not just the number of reviews. Like if you read them, I think reading the reviews is important. We put a lot of testimonials and we tell these stories like this to help folks who are thinking about doing this kind of connect with somebody who actually went through the experience. But if you read the reviews, you'll find somebody that you can connect with who maybe has a similar path as you. And so some people have done the online course. Some people have done the live course, and you'll hear feedback about both. But so you found Master Claire, you took the course, and then what did you do after you started taking the course?
After I signed up for the course, I was just doing the course every night when I came home from work. So I'd work a full day. I'd come home. I spend like an hour or two trying to work through the level that I was working on for the week. And I managed to get through like maybe one level a week. And that went on for about 2 months until I got to the 10th level. And then it was like, okay, I have to go work on a live model now. And so it was just every week I was spending a couple of hours, like every night, either working on the course, practicing, trying to get to the next level, until I gave myself because you get 6 months to finish the course, but I gave myself a 2-month deadline, like, okay, I'm really going to do this. And then by the end of 2 months, I finished the levels, and then it took me like 4 models to finally pass the course and get my certification. And that was like a whole nother month. So
gotcha. So I see you today have a very full social media, and you've got a website, and you've got very professional branding across your social media. Even your email address is swaybrows@gmail.com, which I'm always talking to to artists about the importance of having consistent branding, because it presents you as a professional, right? It's very important.
Right. I think consistency is the number one thing in branding. Like if you look at any major brand out there, their logo or their signage, like you'll see like it needs to be recognizable. So I made it like clear that I wanted, okay, this is, once I decided on my logo, I'm like, this logo is going to go on every single one of my pictures. It's going to be, across the board on my websites and everything. It just needs to be recognizable. So I wanted to be that brand of microbladed brows or like sway brows. When people see it, they'll recognize my work.
Well, you did a great job of it, and obviously it's working. So how did you get your first couple of let's start from the point that you did your model, you submitted it, you graduated from the course, and here I am. I'm now a graduate. Now I have to make money with this. Yeah. So what happened from that point for the next, let's say, month? What did you do? How did you get models? What did you charge them? Where did you work?
So the first handful of models that I did were all my closest girlfriends. I have a chat, like a group chat with them. I'm like, hey guys, I'm trying to change careers. Like they're like, what? I'm like, I want to get into microblading. Like if you guys want to get your eyebrows done, like you can trust me. And I show them like other examples of the brow artist work. And so I only charged them $100. To be my models. And so I probably did 4 of them before I got my certification. And then after that, I still had a couple of friends that still wanted to do it. So I only charged everyone probably $100, like the first maybe 6-7 people. And then after that, I was still doing friends and family. So it was all referral based. And then I was only charging them $200.
And where did you do it?
I was working with my sister-in-law. She was renting a room out of a hair salon in West Covina in LA. So she was actually the one that kind of helped me and mentored me a little bit. And she said, you can just share my space while you're taking clients. And so she let me work with her on the weekends because she had some time open in her schedule. So she would do mornings and then I would take like afternoon clients. So,
nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so you started accumulating, I would imagine, content for your social media, right? From the pictures and the testimonials, right?
Right. So all of those friends and family and everyone that I did in the beginning, like every client, I just tried to maximize as many photos and angles as I could. Like for one client, I would make 6 different collages, take every angle and put it together in different ways so it looks like a different photo. And then just use that to fill my Instagram.
Smart, very smart. So you knew that you needed to have social media populated,
right,
full, to make yourself look busy and to present yourself as a professional, right?
Yes. And, any opportunity I could, like if my friends recommended someone or they had someone, like I really love diversity. So like I work with Asian clients, like Hispanic, like white, black, like, whoever. And I would just give them a discounted rate just so I could get that marketing, get the content.
Yeah. And I see you have plenty of reviews on your Yelp page. Was that helpful for you?
Yeah, the reviews, surprisingly, when I first started, I thought that Yelp was going to be the biggest driver in my business, but it's actually Instagram. Mm-hmm. And Instagram has been like 95% of where I get my business from. And the Yelp reviews definitely help. Those are from like a lot of the earlier clients that I worked with. Mm-hmm. But as of lately, I do ask my clients to write a Yelp review, but after the second session, like if they were satisfied with their service. Yeah.
Gotcha. But the point is that you have a fully completed Yelp page. It's got all your professional information here. It's got your website if they want to find you online. And then when they do find your website, they see you have a professional looking website, which is very important. Mm-hmm. With a beautiful picture, with a nice, everything looks professional, which this is really important. Having every aspect of your touch points with your potential client, presenting them a very professional image is so important. And and like you said, being consistent across the various platforms. And so here's also your Facebook. Your Facebook is professional. Got pictures in here. You've got videos in here.
Yeah, I try to keep, all of the different content across the board. Kind of varies a little bit per platform, but it's that credibility. Like if someone were to come to my website, like what is going to be, how am I going to convert them from just someone that's browsing to someone that is going to pay me $500 to tattoo their face? It's like they want to be able to trust you. So having all that information and just like, I just look at it from my standpoint. Like if I was searching for someone to provide that type of service, I would want professionalism. I would want clarity, all of that information upfront, transparency.
So what would you say if you could sort of narrow it down to 1, 2, or 3 secrets to your success? What would they be?
Secrets, I think number 1 is I genuinely care about all the clients that I work with, and it's just always putting that aspect of service first, making the client feel beautiful, like that will drive you to do whatever it takes to get there. So that would be one. Two would just be consistent and diligent. Like I know social media can be a job in itself, but just remaining consistent, like keeping at it. I try to post at least 1 to 2 images a day, at least one story a day. No matter how tired I am or how late it is, I feel like just keeping that consistency is important for continuous growth. And then 3, just to have fun and, enjoy it. And like, it's a really personal, like a one-on-one experience with the clients. So just being able to connect with people and, being present, making sure that, they feel comfortable.
Tanny, I can't congratulate you enough. You're amazing. You took such a professional approach to this. You had no idea what you were doing. You had no experience doing it. You had 0 clients. She had 0 clients, folks. 0. She had no experience in this. And in 7 months, she made this into an explosive success. She's booked out with 36 new microblading clients in the month of March. It's not even March yet. We're not even close to March yet. And she's fully booked at $500 a piece. That is amazing. You should be really, really proud of yourself. You've done something that is like, just incredible. You should really be proud of yourself. And thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So for those of you who are watching this and you're, interested in following in Tanny's footsteps, the first thing that you would want to do is click the link that's somewhere around this page, this video, excuse me. It's microbladingacademyusa.com/consultation. You can call us, you can email us, you can contact us here on live chat as well on our website. There's so many different ways to get in contact with us, and our staff are very friendly. They will not put any pressure on you whatsoever. They're just there to answer your questions and see if this is something that you'd like to do. But if you're really thinking about it, I mean, Tanny is an amazing example of someone who came from a completely different industry. Last week we talked, Tanny, I don't know if you caught it, but last week or the week before, we spoke with another artist who is also a relatively new member of the 6-Digit Club as well. And she was a chemist. She was a chemist, Tanny. At least the fashion industry is somewhere remotely, you know what I mean?
Parallel, yeah.
Yes. And so, but we've had people, let me just switch this back. It's amazing to me. Like we've had, like Amanda Brewer is another person who is another 6-Digit Club member. She's in Seattle. She was very successful with this, and she was an accountant. So if an accountant can do it, if a chemist can do it, if an executive in the fashion industry can do it, Tanny can do it. You guys can do this. Anybody can do this. Tanny, do you really believe that anybody could do this if they decide to?
I think if you work at it, if you're really diligent, you can definitely do it. Anyone can do it.
On that note, I'm sorry?
You got to have a little bit of an artistic eye, and you have to be able to have the patience to and the personality for it. But I think if you really, if it's for you, you can do it. Yeah,
exactly. On that note, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining us, Tanny. Follow Tanny at Swaybrows, all one word, at Swaybrows. Give her a like for this video. Give her a comment on anything that you found that was inspiring or compelling or interesting, or any questions that you might have on this video. Hook her up, give her some Facebook love, and share this video, and we will catch you on the next one. Tanny, thank you so much.
Thank you, Glenn.
All right. Adios, everybody. See ya.